Hello, my little minions. Back on the clutches. This class will teach you what to look for in your clutches. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, welcome back for another adventure. Yes, we're gonna be talking about this is part 2 on clutches, and I have a lot to go over with you guys on these things. And I figured I'd do a topic on clutches from yesterday's video and today's video to show you guys as much as I could possibly show you, or in my case, remember to show you. So that's what we're going to do. So anyway, let me get you in the stand. But before I do, please hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so when I post the video, you guys get it. Let's get you in the stand again. Crack-a-lackin'. These videos I try to explain to you guys so you guys understand exactly how they work. Once you know how a clutch works, you'll understand how to fix it. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of people who watch the channel who don't know how a clutch operates or even why it's even needed. I mean, it's like a solid mass with springs and clutch discs. But they know is a problem when they put the clutch in, they go to shift and then nothing happens, or they can't shift it out of gear. So that's why I do these videos, to show you guys a lot about the background. What happens with the clutch? How does it work? Why is it needed? So let's get into that whole mess right there. Why is the clutch needed? So here's your crankshaft right here, and this is always rotating. Okay, this is all when the engine's running. That does nothing but spin. Okay, it's all it does. This gear right here is just spinning, ridiculously fast spinning. Okay, and it's turning your clutch basket always. Clutch basket is always spinning, which means that the gears inside your transmission are always turning. So what is the clutch for? The clutch, even though this is spinning, the clutch is designed to allow the transmission to stop without turning. Okay, the clutch separates the engine from the transmission. Okay, that's pretty much what it does. And an automatic transmission in a car, you'd have a torque converter that does that. But basically, this right here has a clutch that separates the engine from the transmission. Here is your barrier wall, and the only thing between the engine and transmission is the clutch. Okay, so how does it work? I know that when I have this thing when I have all the springs tight, I can't turn anything. That's because the clutch is engaged. The clutch is always engaged when your hand is not on the lever. So when the clutch is out, it's engaged. Okay, so it's always on. So what happens when you pull the clutch? So when you pull the clutch, it pulls on the cable, and the cable pulls on this mechanism. See how it's out right now? So when you pull in on it, see how it pushes in? There's a little push rod right here I do not have with me. But anyway, it pushes on that little push rod. That push rod pushes out. That push rod pushes against that little center bearing right there. See that little center bearing? So this is right directly in back of that. So when you pull your clutch, it tightens up and pushes this out, this cup. This cup sitting right in the middle here. I got these springs loose, so I'm going to set it like this, okay? And pushes down. Well, actually, it pushes in. What you're doing when you pull that clutch is, see these 6 springs right there? You are overcoming that spring pressure, okay? That's why some clutches are kind of tight to pull. So if you have a Barnett clutch and you have the upgraded spring kit, I'll show you this. Here's a Barnett spring. Here's a regular factory KE spring. So you can see them in contrast. See how this one, the Barnett's bigger? Okay, that's going to make pulling your lever a little harder, because now you're overcoming more spring pressure. Alright, so put that back in here. So because you can't turn that with the springs on it, alright, I'm going to show you on this one right here that I left off. So, these pieces right here these little ears, are into your clutch basket. Right up in here. This thing needs to be able to rotate freely. So if I hold these from turning without the springs on there, see how I can move the center? So right now the clutch would be in, and this engine, the clutch basket right here would be able to, actually the clutch basket is what turns like this without having any pressure on these, the pressure plate. When you let out the clutch, the center cup moves outward, everything tightens up and locks as one and turns. So that's how your clutch works. I'm going to go over that one more time. So when you push on the center cup, it actually pushes this in a little bit, releasing the discs. And now they can spin freely. When you let out the clutch, the spring tension takes over those 6 springs and clamps it together like a disc brake in a car, and then rotates the whole assembly as one. That is how that clutch works. Now I get a lot of people with KV75s and MT1s. Here's what your clutch would look like. Yours has 2 discs, a ton of ball bearings all the way around, and this is your pressure plate right here. And there's one more in between your discs. Okay, so how this works is when the engine is at idle, you could spin these spinner, what do you call it there? These spinner cogs, okay? These right here, these ears. Now these ears are the same as on the outside of yours. There's a driver right here that turns with a gear. When you throttle up, because this is an automatic clutch, these springs right here move outward because it's called centrifugal clutch. So if you spin it, kind of like if you have a rope with a little weight on it, you spin the rope slowly, it's going to want to have a little bit of sag to it. But the faster you spin the rope, the weight moves to the outside. That's called centrifugal force. All these weights go out to the outside. See these marks right here? That's because this disc is flipped over. But that's what the ball rides on. So the ball moves at 1/4 inch, but it's on a angle, okay, an angle plate, and it squishes the plate together, and that's how the automatic clutch works. Okay, so we're gonna move on here. If you guys have any questions on that, please feel free to comment. And I don't believe in stupid questions, so if you're thinking it, someone else is too. So keep that in mind. I'm going to show you guys a couple things what to look for in a clutch. Okay? And can I reuse it? Because I don't know if you guys remember one of my early videos. I actually bought this clutch right here. This clutch was 13 bucks. Okay, so this clutch right here is the one I paid 13 bucks for. It didn't come with the metals. It just came with the clutch discs. So anyway, what I wanted to show you guys on this is what to look for, because if you buy one of these cheap $13 clutches, which work quite well by the way, you have to use your discs. So here's what I want to show you guys what to look for. If you have any one of these 3, throw it away, discard it, and buy new clutch discs. Okay, so this one right here is obviously overheated. And if you see them like that, where they're all tarnished and brown, but smooth, you can't use it. This has been compromised. This has been hardened. Okay, and this right here is going to allow your clutch to slip, overheat, and it's just going to keep getting worse. It doesn't get better with age. This next one is really bad. This one is rusted. Rusted and pitted. So if you guys have an old bike that's been sitting around, barn find, or just hanging around, and your clutch is not working properly, and you take it apart and you see that the plate is all, it's all pitted, throw it away. This is junk. This will never ever be a good quality clutch again. And last but not least, you guys saw this in my last video, this one is warped and bent and severely overheated. If you have anything like this at all, throw it away. Okay, so those are your three big bugaboos that you will come across on these bikes. I'm actually going to hang these on the wall so I can show people. But if you see any of these 3 items, these are a problem. Discard them, throw them out, or keep them to show someone, go, hey man, look at my clutch, what my clutch was like. All right, the next part, your basket. This is the basket case. So, if you remember in the last video, I told you that there could be grooves right here, and they need to be smooth. So now I want to talk to you guys about this because there is no specifications for this in the book. So here's how I fix a perfectly good clutch basket. Remember, these parts are getting harder and harder to find. So as you get these bikes, people are going to want stupid money for a clutch basket. And you're like, Kevin, you know, my clutch made those grooves that you talked about. How do I fix them? Okay. You guys are going to love this. Once again, a woman's nail file. Now, do not use a grinding disc. Do not use a heavy-duty flat file. Do not use a Dremel. Do not use a Harbor Freight special grinding tool. Seriously, just use this. This is tedious, but it works. Don't use sandpaper, any of those things. And here is why not to use those other products. This is aluminum, and you're going to take too much material off way too fast. Period. Okay, we're going to keep this short, sweet, and simple on this. A woman's nail file that you get over at Harbor Freight, not Harbor Freight, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, any of those places, okay, not affiliated with any of them, just places I shop, okay, these are the files that you use. Now, what are you going to do with this file? So you're going to locate your grooves, which are right here, and you're going to put this on here, and you're going to go this way. You're going to file them down. So you can take a look. You can see the grooves right there. See the one groove, the two groove, and the three groove right there. There was one in the corner there. I'm going to take this file. Use your finger constantly to check it and make sure there's no grooves. And you're going to want to hold this at the same angle as the metal is. See right there? See how nice it looks? Okay, you want to smooth them out. So I'm pushing up and out. Up and out. I'm not going side to side. I'm pushing up and out. And there you have it. You can faintly see them. That's okay. If you can faintly see them but you can't feel them, that's what you want. Here is why. You don't want to take too much material off because you don't forget you got to do both sides. So if you can see it just a smidge, that's okay. If you can get them all out, that's even better. But remember, you don't want your clutch to be knocking in the hole. See that right there? I can move it back. I can't move it back and forth, but it slides nicely. That's what you want. You don't want the thing to be rattling around. If you have a slight bit of movement, that's okay. But if it's like ding, 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 that's bad. Okay, we don't want that. We don't want this thing to be knocking around in there because that's what causes a problem. And then after that, change your driving style to a more moderate driving style for these bikes. So there's a couple of things right there that'll help you guys with your clutches. Most shifting problems with these bikes can easily be avoided and be repaired. Driving style is going to prevent this from wearing out prematurely. This is not a 100,000 mile bike, so you got to ride it gently, nicely. Hammering on these bikes will cause damage. The aluminum quality on these bikes is not the best. Okay, I have a lot of negativity that I'm putting out there, but I want you guys to know something. In no way, shape, or form am I negative about this bike. I absolutely love this bike. It is one of my favorite bikes, And that's why I'm sharing my information with you, so your bike will last as long as mine does. My bikes last a very long time because of proper maintenance, and I ride the bike. I'm not trying to break any speed records. I'm not trying to do anything more than this bike can handle. I'm not trying to push it to the limits. I'm just simply get on the bike, ride, and enjoy it, and have a good time. And my bikes bring up a lot of people say to me, "Oh, wow, that's a really cool classic bike. That's a two-stroke." Yes, it is. And then we get into the bike. I want my bike to last. I want to enjoy the bike. I don't want to be repairing it all the time. That's why I'm making the KE102. It's a little bit more robust, but you guys get the idea. So here is the clutch pack right here. What you can see right here with the disc. Now I got the new driver in there with the Barnett clutch and the Barnett disc, clutch, disc, and the only one that's aluminum is the inner one. And I'm okay with that. So now I got a little bit more gription on my clutch. One more metal disc. Once again, you don't have to do this upgrade. It's really not necessary. I like doing it because I know that I can get more performance out of a metal plate than I can aluminum. And I know that having that one extra steel plate is going to allow that clutch to grab a little bit better. But once again, the factory one is fine. I just wanted to do the video to show you guys the differences and how much of an upgrade that actually is. Now I have one more steel plate that clutch can actually adhere to. So we're going to be doing some other videos, and I'm going to show you guys how to properly soak and what to soak it in. I'm going to be doing that on another video because I have to get that stuff for this one. But what do you call it there? That'll be a part 3 to this video, and it'll be a shorter video, but nevertheless it'll be part 3. So anyway, guys, I'm off for now. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you guys have any questions on this content that I've been putting out there, by all means, please ask. I enjoy the questions, and it helps a lot of people. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people get their bikes up and running. And I'm trying to show you guys, because you know something? When you bring this bike to a shop to get a clutch put in it, they're not going to file that down. They're going to slap a clutch into it. They're going to adjust it up and check it, make sure it's good, and then off you go. And then another year from now, you'll be back going, "Oh, that clutch didn't last long. This bike must be junk." No, it's because they did a clutch slap to it. They don't do these type of things at these shops. Most people don't even know that you can change the cup and get an extra metal disc. That's why I do these videos, guys. I do these videos to help you guys out, to get a little bit more performance out of your bikes. So, a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, guys, I'm off for now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will talk to you guys later. I'm out.